Hi, everyone. Welcome back for day two. Let's go. I have so much to cover today, so we have to dive right in because more has been added and added and added to my agenda within the last 24 hours because I have just so many exciting things to share with you that I want you to have to succeed because I want to make sure you have everything imaginable. And speaking of having everything imaginable, so you are set up for the most success, get access to the daily Entra right away. If you are someone who kind of started with the Finish Strong Challenge, this Finish Strong Challenge, you have access to the daily Entra. I want you to use it. If you're having any trouble getting access to it and signing in with Circle, whatever it is, email entra@iminc.life. I'll put that here. Entra@iminc.life and make sure that you get your access because that's where the recordings will be of these calls and so much more. Daily guidance, support, and just like honestly, the coolest community in the whole wide world. I love you all so much. Okay, let's dive right in. And first off, I just want to hear how's everyone feeling since yesterday? Pam said, I missed yesterday's chat, was hoping for the link to the recording. Yes, make sure that you go to the daily Entra if you don't have that. Someone said, can you make it a bit louder? I wonder if you can do that on your own. On your own, let me know. Hold on, let's take a minute to see if we can improve this. Does this help? Does this help with audio? I always have my space heater going, so maybe that's affecting the sound. Yes, that helps. Okay, great. Amazing. Fantastic. I love your feedback. You guys don't know how much your feedback means the world to me and helps us create everything, including the daily Entra was from your inspiration and your feedback. Okay, yay. Bella says yesterday was such a good call. Yes, Daily Entra has regular live calls every other week and sometimes even more. We have guest speakers like my friend Amanda, who's highly coveted public speaker. She shared a guest moment, and we're going to have more of those to come because, again, your feedback is vital. Okay, so the first day one, I want to get started. Everyone, grab your water. Day one, the theme was mindset and party strategy, the whole idea of you control the room. Okay. You control the room. You have a lot more control than you think. You might not be able to control what they're serving or who's invited, but you can control your choices and your positioning. That was the theme of day one. If you haven't watched day one, definitely check it out. Day two, my theme is execution and environment, winning your holiday settings. Okay. Winning your holiday settings. So I want to start with day two, just a little recenter and check in. I'm hyped up. I know you are too. So let's take a deep breath. Let's start just like we did yesterday, breathing in deeply and beautifully, knowing that we're so lucky to be here, that we're in the right place, that great things are always happening to us and for us, and exhaling any doubt, any past excuses, any blockages or worries that get in our way. Inhaling possibilities, opportunities, new ways to explore and grow and improve, and exhaling any old sticky thoughts that make us believe that we can't get the results we want. We're just going to burn that aflame, set it on fire, let it blow into the wind and have something else. I was, just getting reminded of the concept of control burns. I don't know if you guys know that you need to have in forestry, you need to have sometimes controlled burns, like things, you need to literally light some things in fire to have new vegetation grow, to have new plants be able to grow and thrive. And that is the case. Sometimes things need to burn. Sometimes past negative beliefs or thoughts that you're a foodie or that you have a sweet tooth or that you can't go to sleep without something sweet at night or you can't get through Thanksgiving without your aunt's pie or you can't possibly be the one to not make your famous cookies this year. All of these thoughts and these doubts of telling yourself that it's too late to get it together and you've always struggled with this is your identity. It needs a controlled burn. You need to light it all on fire to make room for new opportunities, new possibilities, new inspiring voices to get into your head. And I was listening today to someone say that we literally just hear the same things over and over and over again. And yesterday I asked you to tell me on a scale of 1 to 10 how much tough love you can handle. And most of you came in with a 10. And I think that's because you know that you have to get out of your own head sometimes. And sometimes you need to hear my voice in order to get that new way of thinking in your head, the way I need to do for my people who inspire me in other ways. I'm just gonna turn this space heater towards me so it's working better as a tool. But yes, sometimes we need to do a control burn on our thoughts, and that is healthy, and that makes space for new ideas and challenges and opportunities to thrive. So let's take one more deep breath in, telling yourself, I am something positive, something empowering. I am strong. I am adaptable. I am flexible. I am resourceful. Being on here today shows that you are resourceful. We have over 100 people on. Lindy, Stacy, Nancy, Laura, Carol, Bella, Suzanne, Dana, Amanda. I won't go into everyone's names like I did yesterday, but I see you. I believe in you. And I am so glad that you are here for you, for me, and for our whole community. I just want to share, last night was 11/11, and which is why I wanted to have this call on 11/11, our start of our Finish Strong Challenge. And I got together with a group of women. There was this fantastic supper club hosted by Lori Hayter. She has a very famous podcast called Earn Your Happy, and Amanda Francis, who has best-selling books all on women empowerment around business and money. And it was like this very like girl power empowering event, and it was beautiful. And one aspect I loved was I went last and you had to introduce yourself. And I went last in the group. And the whole idea they said is everyone, you should brag on yourselves. You should be able to get up there, present yourself, talk about what you do, what you're proud of, what you need to call in, what do you desire, what are you excited about? Like give like a 90-second pitch about yourself. And I went last and I, gave my whole spiel, so to speak. And I ended and said, I probably spoke more confidently because I went last and I heard you all be brave enough to do it. And had I gone first, I might have dumbed it down a bit. And I said to these women, I need you all to continue to be proud of yourselves and your accomplishments. And I need you all to crush your goals because it inspires me to crush mine. And that really is the beauty of the Daily Entre. It's the beauty of, the 111 women on this call. I need you guys to write in the chat your vulnerabilities, your proudest moments, and really like dive into that and own it, because everyone should just be flickering your lights to glow brighter. And that's what our community is all about. We need each other to be successful so we can be inspired that we can do it too. Okay. And that's really the energy here. Okay. So I want you to take your notebook. I want you to take your pen, and I really want you to do just that. I want you to remind yourself what your goal is, what your vision is. What do you want to be most proud of on January 1st? What did you say on January 1st? What can you say? I'm so happy that I stayed consistent and wrote down my food every day. I'm so happy that I was engaged with the daily Entre and felt on track throughout the season. Every single day, I plugged in with the daily Entre for 5 to 10 minutes, and I saw the content that was provided there, checked in with the community. I'm so proud of the fact that I went on the scale every day between now and January 1st, and I didn't wait, to get surprised. Okay. So I really want you to say, Yalda said, I am proud that I have lost 30 pounds since mid-May. Even if I'm having a hard time now, I will keep pushing. Yes, 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 yes. Nancy said it was her birthday yesterday. Happy birthday. Tiffany said, last family trip, my brother said, so you're not going to be having a Sunday with us? And I said, do you want me to feel good or bad? Tummy and energy wise in the morning. He said, good. So I stuck with my Wonder Whip and he hushed up. Exactly. Exactly. Everyone should be cheering you on. And if someone asks you a question like, you're not going to eat that, you don't have to get into defense mode necessarily right away. People just want a because. And I think I mentioned that yesterday, that people really want a because. And sometimes if you ask, someone for a favor, like, oh, can you pass, my drink? They'll be like, just get it yourself. But if you say, oh, can you pass my drink because my hands are so full with something? They're like, oh, of course, I'll understand. Sometimes you just have to say, oh, no, I don't want the ice cream because I'm working on this big challenge now and I have this delicious Wonder Whip here and I'm excited to have it. They'd be like, okay. It's not that they're trying to go into attack mode, but it can feel that way if you're not used to giving that because, or you're not used to speaking proudly about your intentions. So I want you to not only set the intention for how you want to feel on January 1st, but I want you to own it. I want you to be proud of it and celebrate it, and just like, and really give it your all. Okay. I also want to share, I want to say, does anyone have any wins since yesterday, even? I know that sounds strange because it's only been 24 hours, but if you had a weight loss day, if you felt more empowered, if you felt a greater sense of self-control, I want to hear about it because I have to say, last night I went to an event and we were fresh off this call. And what did I do? The event started at 6. But if an event starts at 6, even if it's not starting at 8, even if it starts at 6, there's no chance in the world you are eating at 6. If you go to a restaurant and reservations are called for 6, you might say, oh, thank goodness it's not so late. By the time the waiter gets there, your whole table is seated. Are you kidding? Everyone places their order. You're not going to eat before 7:15. Even at a fast food restaurant, you're not going to eat before 6:30. So I ate something at 5:30. I had a plate of mini peppers. I had cottage cheese with it. It was so delicious. I stuck with the plan. I had protein. I had veggies. I got there. There were pass around appetizers, like little bellinis of caviar and little wontons of this and that. And I passed on hundreds of calories of little appetizers. I didn't have alcohol. And when dessert came, I was thinking about you guys so much that dessert came. And a part of me has a saying that is, it takes one bite to taste. It was a brownie, it was sweet cream, it was these mandarin oranges with this pistachio crumble, and it looked delicious. And a part of me could have said, and I had all of these thoughts in my head. Just lick the cream, see if the cream is yummy, just to get a change of taste. Just have the orange wedges. It's a fruit. It's totally fine. Just have that flaky part top of the brownie. That's so good. Just like the top little crispy bit. Just have a crunch of the pistachio, Alana. And as I was about to do it, I was like, no, no. Because every time I say no to something, I'm saying yes to something else. I'm saying yes to be able to write in my tracker I didn't have dessert, or be able to say yes to you guys that I didn't have it. I'll be able to say yes to a weight loss in the morning and not have to see a weight gain in the morning and think it's probably because I had that bite of dessert. I didn't have to go into any of it. Saying no to that dessert meant I got to say yes to something else. That part of me was like, oh, the women next to me are going to ask me why I'm not eating dessert. And I'm going to have to justify, oh, I do eat dessert. I just don't want tonight. No one cared. No one asked. No one cares. No one cares. And studies show it. Studies show it. In that book, Captivate, I mentioned yesterday, people wore a t-shirt. These college students wore a t-shirt and they thought that people were going to make fun of them for this nerdy t-shirt. And they far higher estimated how many people would comment on the t-shirt. Very few people did. Very few people care what's going on in your life. Very few people are out of their own ego and narcissism. And it's not even their narcissism. There's a lot we all have to do. We have to-do lists. We have responsibilities. We have all of these things that very few people are concerned about what you're doing. And if they are, give them a reason to not be, or something that will satisfy them and allow them to move on so you can move on. Okay. So Kathy said, yes, just being on this call as I had a 6-hour road trip back home. I dropped my daughter back at college after her cancer treatment. We are here for you, Kathy. The fact that you are showing up right now, not making excuses, showing up for yourself. God bless you and your family. And everyone will be so much better off when you're in a secure state, when you're feeling proud of yourself. You'll have so much more energy to give to everyone else. So yes, okay. And I will add one thing. As I was driving my kids to school today, sorry, I'm all over the place. There's so much I want to share with you. As I drove my kids to school this morning, one woman gave me the middle finger. And it was such a bizarre thing because she was in the middle of the block with her dog. And I think she was insinuating that I should have waited for her and her dog to get from the middle of the block to the end of the block to cross the street before I continued on with my stop sign, even though I did stop. She wasn't even at the edge. She was in the middle of the block. And she gave me this big middle finger. And I didn't even see it. My kids go, Mommy, she just gave you the middle finger. And I go, you know what, kids? We don't know what she went through this morning. Maybe she didn't have a delicious breakfast. Maybe her dog was barking all night and she didn't sleep. You never know. When people are mean to you, you never know where they're coming from. Okay. So I want you to stay strong, to be confident in your choices, and be proud of what you're going to be proud of on January 1st. Okay. And get through those moments so you can have that opportunity. Okay. So I wanted to share that. I also want to share, yesterday I mentioned if you have protein and veggies prior to a meal, you're going to be better off. And I literally was able to have that practical example last night. And because I had the peppers and the cottage cheese before the meal, one, I didn't have the pasta and appetizers and I was fine. Two, I didn't need to even have a lick of dessert. Three, the appetizer was a delicious beet salad that I had. And then the main was a piece of fish with a over huge bed of white rice and some bok choy. And again, I did not need to touch that rice because I was not tempted. I was full. I went into the party at a 3.5, 4. And so I was able to leave the party at a 7, 8, feeling in control and feeling really good and not feeling like I just have to eat all the extras and the mashed potatoes and this and that just because it's there. And I want to share, this is not my line. I want to be clear. This is from a dietitian named Tanya Zuckerbrot. And many of you might know her. And she has this one line I love, and she never really leaned into it, but I think she should have because it's such a good line. And I think about it often. I wish I came up with it, but, and I've tried iterations, but really the OG, the original line that she has is so good. So remind yourself this, repeat it after me. Protein and fiber at every meal makes losing weight no big deal. Such a good line. Protein and fiber at every meal, and fiber comes from veggies. So protein and fiber at every meal makes losing weight no big deal. And I'll add to that, it makes self-discipline no big deal. It really does. It really does satiate your mind and your body so you can stay driven and you can stay focused. Okay. Protein and fiber at every meal makes losing weight no big deal. And drinking that water first and having the water in your hand, again, it helps you not really feel like you need to have the alcohol, like you need to have a pasta or an appetizer, because you have two hands are on the wheel of your water and you're feeling strong and secure. Someone said, Petra said, I just froze. Did I freeze? Did I freeze for everyone else? I hope not. Let me know if I did, and I will repeat it. Okay. So now let's talk about food pushers. Okay. Let's talk about food pushers because you can't get through the holiday without some food pushers. Okay. Not frozen. Good. Let's talk about food pushers. I used to say, and I even made a video that was very controversial. I used to say to food pushers, oh, I already ate, or oh, I already tasted that and it's great. Like honestly, like a small, simple white lie to get them off my back. And I still really don't think that there's anything wrong with that because I do think that the host is literally just looking for validation that their guests are happy. And I think if a host says, did you eat that? Did you eat enough? Enough? All they want you to say is, yes, thank you. This evening is beautiful. Thank you for having us. It means the world. It's so special to be invited. It's so special to be here. Thank you for putting in so much effort into the big details and the little details and having us all here to celebrate this Thanksgiving or this moment and to be together, right? Because that's what the host is looking for. They're looking for validation. They're looking for recognition. They're looking to feel that you're comfortable so they can be comfortable. So usually when you just tell them like everything is wonderful, they're happy. And if that means like you say, I'm stuffed, even though you're comfortably content because you know that they want to hear that you're stuffed, then it's okay. It's okay to exaggerate a little bit to get the food pusher to, be alleviated and feel calm and secure. And like they, got a check mark that their guests were comforted. I think it's all coming from good intention. So it could be good. But there's also something to just being very strong in your conviction of, oh no, I'm not drinking, I'm driving, or oh, I'm not drinking, I've really pulled back because I don't sleep as well. Like if you give people an honest because, it's also an amazing thing. And it's also something that they just probably want that because, so they know that you're not eating the fried food because you think it's bad, but it's because it doesn't make you feel your best or whatever it is. Like just give them a solid because whatever it is, do it with confidence and do it with conviction. And there's this one line that if you haven't heard or you need to be reminded of, it's so true. Do not take advice from someone who hasn't achieved what you want to achieve. Okay. So like if someone is food pushing on you and telling you, so you're not going to drink, so you're not going to eat, what do you want to diet? Like, what are you like making us all here to feel bad? Like, if this is not someone who is the epitome of health and what you're looking to get, like, how much energy do you need to, how much weight do you need to give to that opinion, right? You can listen to the opinion, but how much are you going to allow it to pass the filter of what really needs to get through your subconscious and what doesn't? Okay. Because a lot of times you can just be like, who is this sharing this advice with me? You know, who is this? Is this someone who is, you know, like taking an easy road out, and so she's like questioning my, you know, effort? Like, where is this coming from? And I need you to get stronger and really push past the food pushers, because it really doesn't matter. And I will say, even me, who I said sometimes I go to events and people like really like say, I'm here to look at what you're eating, and then oftentimes no one even cares. So you really have to just stay strong. Someone's writing in the chat, and I love this. 100%. My neighbor is a food pusher, and I love her dearly, but I've learned 3 years into attending their Christmas party to eat my veggies before I show up. Otherwise, I'll get negative comments out of the wazoo. Right. And so you just make whatever plan is coming. Okay. And I want you to really think about, what are the top 3 food events that you have coming up in the last 6 weeks? Because there might be a lot more than that, you know, but think about, like, is it Thanksgiving? Is it Christmas dinner? Is it, you know, Christmas Day breakfast? Is it, you know, your big church celebration? Is it your annual holiday potluck? Is it the community cookie exchange? What is it? And really get clear with how you're going to prepare diligently for all 3 of those events at minimum. Okay. So you can make the change you need to see. Now, I want to talk about change for a second. Shonda Rhimes just did an interview on the Mel Robbins podcast. It's a very interesting interview. Shonda Rhimes is the creator of Bridgerton and Grey's Anatomy and so many other, you know, spectacular television shows. And she has a new book called Something About Yes, The Power of Yes, The Year of Yes, or something. And she basically says that she was in a real funk of saying no. And she told herself she was just going to give herself 1 year of saying yes. And yes meant yes to her health. And she talks about how she lost so much weight because she was just saying no to her health, and instead she said yes to her health. And she said that sometimes it looks like another yes, that she was saying yes to being on the couch and considering that the cozy place where she should be. And she turned it to yes in terms of eating better, and eating for the right reasons, and not eating for sport, but eating because she was truly hungry and drinking more water and all of those things. And so I think, like, what really helped her as a framework, which I think could be helpful for you, is go 6 weeks at a time. Just look at these 6 weeks. Okay. And if you think, oh, how is Alana telling me to be most disciplined the hardest 6 weeks of the year? I'm going to actually reframe that for you, because they're not. Yes. Listen, I'm not going to be naive. I'm not going to gaslight you. Yes. The last 6 weeks of the year are very hard. There are sugar temptations and cravings everywhere, and people are gifting you more cookies and sweets and popcorn trios than they are in the other months of the year. Yes, the last 6 weeks there are more challenging, of course, but it's not like it becomes unchallenging to lose weight and stay disciplined the rest of the year. If you don't forget, right after New Year's and everyone's like going to the gym and feeling amazing, 2 weeks later is the Super Bowl, the big game, the hoagies, the bowls of chips, the nachos. It's literally right after. And then following that, you have Valentine's Day, chocolates. You go into any store and it's chocolates this and chocolates that and chocolate covered strawberries and cake and all that stuff. And then it rolls right into Easter and the little peep marshmallows and all of that stuff. So it's not like it's ever so easy. And sometimes when you push yourself at the hardest moment and you actually stay disciplined and you use this Finish Strong challenge to ignite the fire within you, and you stay so disciplined and strong and you feel amazing with your protein and your veggies and the fruit at dessert, which we're going to get into, then everything else feels like a breeze. When you prove to yourself that you could lose 6 pounds in the last 6 weeks of the year, everything else feels like a no-brainer, and you can keep that momentum and everything else will feel small compared to this big effort. And I love that framework of just do it for 6 weeks, or just do it for one night at a time. right? So like if you have an event this weekend, just say, you know what, I'm using this weekend. I have a birthday party. I have drinks with friends. I have this or I have that. I have a movie theater where there could be popcorn. I'm not going to have popcorn for the first time. I'm going to drink a water bottle and have gum in my mouth. If you give yourself this one instance at a time, if you break it down into something small, and then you tell yourself, if I don't like it, if it really concerns me, I could always go back. You will be so much stronger. And that's what encouraged her to stay out, like stick it to the year of saying yes, because it felt like it was just 1 year. And if for you, give it just one season, give it one party, give it one night, give it one weekend, but you have to give yourself the opportunity to not even have a lick of the sweet cream or the flake of the brownie top, to know that you can do it, to know that it's not a big deal. And if you don't give yourself that opportunity, you'll really never know. And the worst that could happen is you feel uncomfortable. That's the worst that could happen. And sometimes we have to play it out. What is the worst case scenario? I have some clients who tell me that they have not gone on the scale for months or if not years. And it's their first session with me. And they're like, I know you're going to make me go on the scale. And I tell them, like, listen, let's just take a few minutes to play out the worst case scenario. The last time you went on the scale was 2 years ago and you weighed 206. So in 2 years, maybe you gain 20 pounds. So expect 226. And sometimes they'll be like, it can't be 226 because I'm in the same jeans. And I'll be like, okay, so maybe it's 219. But like play out the worst case scenario. And once you do that, you you take away the power of the unknown. And sometimes the unknown has so much power. And if you just say, okay, you listen, if I don't have this dessert, what's the worst case scenario? I'm going to be really uncomfortable. Or if sometimes there's going to be moments where you do overeat, where you didn't make the plan, or you did make the plan, but you didn't follow through with the plan, and things go haywire. And you had a cup of cider and you didn't know it was going to be that boozy. And being that drunk made you eat a little bit more and eat and drink a little bit more and do all these things. And then you say, oh God, there's no way I could be this hungover. I have eaten that much last night. And I write it down and go on the scale. I have to just pretend like this didn't happen. I have to eat cleaner today. I have to just wait to go on the scale on Monday. No, don't do that. Don't allow yourself to go back in those ways. Just bite the bullet and tell yourself, what's the worst that could happen? You did have a handful of those, gummies, and you did have charcuterie, and you did have 3 glasses of wine, and you did also have the brownie and the hot cocoa with the whipped cream on top, and you didn't not have the whipped cream and pass on it. Like you did have those things. Okay, what's the worst case scenario? It's going to go up 4 pounds in a day. Like, okay, if you could gain 4 pounds in a day, you might be able to lose 4 pounds in a day or 2 days. Not the end of the world. Okay. So take the power away from the unknown around the fear of changing, and give yourself a small allotment time to change and challenge yourself, because it can make it all possible. Okay. Um, Amanda's saying these last 6 weeks are going to set the tone for the first 6 weeks of the new year. I'd rather go in lighter, more focused, not heavier. Exactly. And I love this one line: how you do one thing is how you do everything. And anytime I share my makeup online, people are always like, you don't need makeup, Alana, you're so pretty. And I appreciate it. And I always say thank you, because I always take it for the compliment that it's meant to be. But it really is something I enjoy. Like I genuinely enjoy putting on makeup. It really has become a hobby of mine. I'll share, if you've never heard me say this, in 2020, if you were following me then, it was the pandemic. No one was doing anything. And I had on this caked on face of makeup like you wouldn't believe, almost every day of the pandemic. And it was wild because no one else was looking like that. And everyone was in pajamas and let it go. And I was like, if I am not putting on makeup, I am going to use all this creativity to be playing with ingredients instead of beauty products in the kitchen. I'm going to be baking sourdough. I'm going to be baking banana bread. I'm going to be doing all these things that everyone else is doing. And I just have a creative outlet and I'm going to use it towards this. And it literally became a hobby. It became an outlet. It became something that was making me feel good and keeping me spending time on something that was more productive and less destructive than eating and baking. And I enjoy it. And it really is for me. And I like that line of like, how you do something is how you do everything, because it's just like, if I put on makeup, it just makes me feel like I've also made my bed. It's kind of just like one of these things that helps me check off the list. And I don't feel this way, but some people feel that way about buying themselves flowers. Like it makes them feel like they're at a nice hotel, and it's a small indulgence that makes them feel good and proud. Lean into these things. People will tell you, you don't have to like have your, like your house look this clean or smell this fresh or have fresh flowers. Say thank you. I appreciate you saying that, but do it for you. Okay, do it for you. Because again, if we don't have other things that bring us comfort, it's very easy to keep allowing food to be the source of comfort. And I'd say one thing that is probably going to bond, like, really bond the 100+ people on this call and the hundreds more who are going to listen to the recording is all of us have seeked food for comfort in the past. And to say, oh, that's not me is, I think, just being naive, because everyone has seeked food for comfort at one point or another. Everyone, literally everyone. And that's okay. That's okay. Food can be comforting. We want veggies and protein to be the ultimate comfort foods because they're ultimately what makes us feel best in our bodies, and we know it. But it's like, lean in this holiday season to the pajamas, to the photos, to the music, to the lights, to the decorating. Like, I really want to encourage you to be unapologetically forthright in being festive this holiday season, and not saying, oh, I don't need to put up the Christmas lights this early. If it brings you joy, do it. Like, I don't need to put all the beautiful pumpkins out on my doorstep until the day before my guests come for Thanksgiving dinner. If it brings you joy, do it. And I feel like all the time we're just apologizing for things when, like, we don't have to be like hiding this stuff. We can celebrate this stuff. And when we're more authentic with what really brings us true and joy, I do find it really helps with the breakup on relying fully and solely on food for that sense of joy. Okay. Suzanne wrote something so great, which is, it's daily exercise for me, which is what brings me joy and comfort. Absolutely. I'm back to working out now, and it is so good. And it feels so good to work my muscles in that way. Okay. I want to get into sweets because I told you guys, first call was a lot on savory. I need to be able to cover sweets. Okay. There is a myth on fruit. Let's dispel it right now. People believe fruit has too much sugar. It is garbage. Okay. Now, if you followed the To Be Mindset, if you haven't, you definitely should. But if you've never watched the To Be Mindset program videos or read my book, You Can Drop It. Like, you might not know this, but I'm going to explain it now. I call fruit a carb. That is true. Fruit is a carb. I don't look at it in the category of veggies. I don't look at it in the category of protein. I don't look at it in the category of fats and other accessories. It is part of a fiber-filled carbohydrate. It's similar to eating roasted potatoes or quinoa or butternut squash or, all these types of carbs. And that's okay. But there are good carbs and what I call silly carbs. Okay. And just because I might recommend that we don't have as many carbs at night, right? Within the Plate It method, within the To Be Mindset. If you're new here and you don't know what that means, you'll learn it with time. And I recommend you do. But just because you're eating fruit at night doesn't mean you, quote unquote, fell off or cheated or might as well just eat the cookies. Okay. They are not the same. And for some reason, when I talk to clients about this, it's very eye-opening, where they'll tell me, oh, I just had one cookie. And I'll say, was there fruit there? And they'll be like, yeah, but like, isn't that the same? In that exact tone? I'm like, absolutely not even close. Okay. So I wanted to give you a example on how that is. Okay. 1 cup of grapes, a cup is about a fist. Okay. So this is the size of an orange. This orange is 70 calories. About 70 calories. A cup of grapes, a fist of grapes, is also 65, 70 calories. A cup of strawberries is 50. Okay. Berries, blackberries, raspberries, blueberries, strawberries, by far your best bet. Berries are so low in calorie. Okay. They almost rival carrots. Okay. So fruit and oranges and grapes, melons, watermelon, a whole cup, a whole fistful is still only 60, 70 calories. 1 Costco cookie. Can people guess in the chat how many calories in 1 Costco chocolate chip cookie? Rachel said 400, 175, 220, 500, 355, 500. The answer? 550, guys. 550. Do you know how many cups of grapes that is? 1 large chocolate chip cookie is the equivalent of eating 8 cups of grapes. More, maybe 9 cups of grapes. It's the equivalent of having 10 cups of strawberries. 10 cups of strawberries. Wow, I'm so happy you guys are rating yikes. I've never thought of this. Okay, 2 sugar cookies. Two sugar cookies, small ones, two small sugar cookies are 220 calories. You might be thinking that's not a lot. Yeah, it is. Two small sugar cookies that are providing no protein and fiber, that are coming after a meal, that are coming after appetizers, that are coming after drinks. 220 might sound small. That's on top of everything else. And 220 calories of grapes is, again, like 4 cups of grapes. Okay, 3.5, 4 cups of grapes. Lean into fresh fruit. Lean into fresh fruit. If you eat fresh fruit at holiday parties throughout the season and you have it as your dessert throughout the parties, even if the scale goes up the next day because the food is saltier, or because there was more fruit, or because it was later at night, even if the scale goes up, one, it's never going to go up the same. Two, when you eat that amount of water and fiber that is intrinsic to eating fresh fruit, you are curbing the blood sugar spike, you're curbing the weight gain, but you're really curbing the sugar cravings. And I mentioned this briefly yesterday, but I'm gonna say it again. People wake up on January 1st. I'm so motivated. I'm going to run 5 miles a day. I'm going to track my calories and only eat 1,300 calories a day, and yada, yada, yada. And you might do it for a few days until those sugar cravings from Christmas and from New Year's and from the barrage of sweets before really kick in and are calling you and are calling you. And it's so hard. Like, people think it's easy to just eat at quote unquote whatever they want through the holidays and just get it together on January 1st. That is so hard. I'm telling you, because your old habits and your sugar cravings are skies the roof. So you have to fight such a bigger battle just to like stop the gain rather than lose the weight. So I'm telling you, lean into fresh fruit. Even if you have the fresh fruit with a little whipped cream on top, you're so much better off. And I really wanted to make sure I mentioned this because I go to big dinners all the time. Like, it's part of my culture to kind of have Thanksgiving dinner on a weekly basis, what we call Shabbat. Like, this Friday night, I'm hosting like 25 people and we do many courses, and it's kind of like we do a Thanksgiving every week, and it's a little outrageous, but I really lean into fruit. And sometimes I'm sitting there eating grapes or eating oranges when there's cookies on the table and a little ice cream bar and a homemade pie and a babka, and like there's so many options, and I'm sitting there eating grapes and sometimes, or oranges or melon, and sometimes I'll tell myself like, Alana, you're probably eating too much fruit. And then I'll like say to myself, but did I have more than 3 cups worth? Like, did I have more than 3 fists? Like, did I have more than 50 grapes? Because if I didn't have more than 50 grapes, it was still better than having one piece of that 500-calorie pie. That's like really easy to do in a couple of bites. So really, like, I wanted to make sure that I share this with you because one slice of pecan pie, around 500 calories. Like, you could literally sometimes have 10 times the volume in fresh fruit than having the pastries and things like that. And it is worth it to do it. And do not think that just because it's fruit doesn't mean like it was a good option. Like, it is always the better option. Okay. So I wanted to share that. Let's get into alcohol. Okay. We can't talk about the last 6 weeks there without talking about alcohol. There is 1 in every 20 people who eat less when they drink alcohol. Okay. It exists. I'm not saying it doesn't exist. That's why I wanted to mention 1 in 20 people might be here on the call and be like, for me, when I drink wine, it slows me down. I actually eat less. I am not going to deny that that person exists. I know that there is a case for that. There are some times where I think if I pregame well enough and I have drinking all my water that day and I had protein and veggies prior to the meal, and I know it's going to be a drinking night that I want to indulge, I can psych myself out to drink alcohol and not eat as much food and come home and drink water and maybe take a Tylenol before bed or whatever I need to do and go to sleep. And I can actually psych myself into that. But naturally, it does not go that way. If I do not plan for it, I'm like the 19 out of 20 people who, when we drink alcohol, we actually get hungrier and we become much more uninhibited, and it becomes much easier to, F it, let's just have the nuts, let's just have the popcorn, let's just have the chips, let's just have the candies. Okay. So you have to know yourself. I'm not saying it's not possible. You can drink alcohol and still see a weight loss the next day. It is going to be a lot less likely, and you're going to have to plan for it. So my rules for alcohol is I do not have a sip of alcohol until I hit my water goal that day. Okay. Make this a rule. Do not, do not go into the holiday season, the next 6 weeks, without having a water goal, and make it higher than you want. Okay. Do not make it 60 ounces of water. I don't want to hear that. Okay. For most of us on this call, it should be at least 90 ounces a day, at least 3 liters. Okay. And if you're falling below that, I need you to reassess that plan. Okay. Especially for the last 6 weeks of the year. All right. I drink more than that. I drink closer to my weight in water, if not more. So just make sure that you have a nice, it should be realistic, but you should also push what realistic really is. Okay. And you should go ahead and set a water goal and commit to that every single day by January 1st. And at the very least, make sure you hit that before you hit your alcohol. Because I will tell you, the second you start drinking beer, second you start drinking wine, second you start drinking a gin and tonic or a dirty martini or like a Moscow Mule or a spiked cider or whatever else it is, a lot harder to drink water afterwards. If you hit your water goal first, and then it will be much more likely that you're going to be drinking water throughout the night, switching off alcohol, water, lower rate of a hangover, don't need as much alcohol in order to feel the effects, and you're going to see better weight control throughout if you're just drinking less alcohol. We know that, okay? So I love that everyone's sharing your water goal. Everyone's saying 200 ounces is where I see my best weight loss days. I love to hear it. I always aim for 3 to 3.5 liters of water. 200 is my new water goal, says Madel. If you're going to set a new goal for the last 6 weeks of the year, one of the easiest ways to do it is by adding more water to it. Okay. Even on your travel days, even on Thanksgiving, even while you're cooking, you get your straw and you stick with it. Just as a visual, here's the water that sits by me at all times. Okay. So if you're peeing all holiday season, you're doing it right. Have to mention the alcohol. Now, I also mentioned I would share hosting tips. I'm hosting like this weekend. I host a ton. I already know I'm hosting next Friday night also. Okay. Crudité and sparkling water. Okay. Water first, veggies most. Not just for you, but also for your guests. Your guests are going to be happy and healthy. It's always a good idea. I can't tell you how many events I go to that have cocktails and no water. It literally is wild to me how often this happens, that you go places and it's hard to find water because they were so focused on having the sodas and the cocktails that they forgot water for people. Okay. So make sure that as a host, you have water for people because people want water. Okay. So there should always be water and sparkling water and crudité. It's always nice to have crudité. You get some Persian cucumbers, you get mini bell peppers, you get a bag of baby carrots, and you just throw them on a plate. And if you want to get a dip, it doesn't have to be expensive. Even, by the way, those veggie trays from supermarkets are always on sale and you don't have to do anything. Like it always says $12, marked down to $6. Like just rip the plastic off and put it out or make one yourself. Or if someone asks, what can I bring? Oh, do you want to bring a crudité platter? Sure. Or I do the opposite. I tell people to bring the desserts. I don't have to focus on dessert because I know how easy it is to make a crudité platter. Okay. Just a platter of veggies to always have. So you're snacking on them when you realize that you're hungry at the party too. Okay. Someone said that she's drinking water on her road trip. Great idea. Tell the people on your road trip who you're road tripping with, I'm giving you the heads up now. We will be stopping 4 times in this 6-hour drive or 7-hour drive. I don't want you to complain. Okay. And you can even go on ChatGPT or on Google or on MapQuest, if MapQuest still exists, and you can map out all the stops that are most convenient that align with gas and whatever it needs to be. But tell the people before so you can eliminate any friction, right? Like I drink a lot, I pee a lot. I know it's only a 4-hour car ride, but I'm going to want to stop at least twice. Okay. So please don't make a big deal about it. Let's leave 20 minutes early so you're not stressed with time and we know we're going to show up in a good time. Okay. Really be proactive. All right. So as we wrap up, okay, I want to make sure that you feel like you have a 6-week holiday game plan. Okay. Someone said that she pees in a Folgers Kintan. I love it. This is where we celebrate our awkwardness and our weirdness and our goal-getting mentality, guys. This is where we do it. We celebrate each other doing what we need to do to reach our goals. And that's that. I bring a scale with me on every vacation. I bring my water bottles with me. I bring my metal straws with me because it helps me drink water. I have water enhancers in my purse. It's the best. I love it. And the more I celebrate these things, the more other women share, oh, well, I don't go anywhere without, my little de-bloat tablets. And my mother-in-law carries diet tonic in her purse and she brings it to bars because they don't typically have diet tonic and she loves a gin and tonic. Like, and her best friend started doing it too. Like, celebrate these things. Okay. Celebrate it. Own it. Own it. Okay. So I want to make sure that you have a game plan going into the last 6 weeks of the year and that we tie this up with you feeling fresh and prepared. So I want you to take a pen and paper. It could be now, it could be right after this call. It could be the notes section of your phone or an email draft to yourself, whatever it is. If you're an Excel spreadsheet girl or guy, like, own that, but I want you to write the top 3 parties you're going to attend this year. Okay. Top 3 parties you're going to go, or gatherings you're going to attend the last 6 weeks of the year. Okay. And I want you to make a specific plan for each. Okay. And you can be realistic. If you know that you're not going to not have a cup of eggnog, then say, okay, I'm going to have a cup of eggnog, but then for the remainder of dessert, I'm sticking to fruit. I'm not going to have eggnog and a pie. Okay. So whatever your plan is, I need you to lean into it. Okay. And I want you to be clear on where you're going to stand, what you're going to drink, what you're going to bring, what you're going to have eaten that day, how you're going to write it down. Really get clear on the plan. Okay. For 3 events. You're going to be so much stronger as a result. And this is not going to take you more than 6 minutes. It's going to take you 2 minutes each party. Okay. 6 minutes now to prevent hours of regret and discomfort later on. You are worth it. You are worth it. I want you to repeat, I am worth it. I want you to repeat after yourself, I am worth it. I am worth it. I am worth taking care of. I am worth planning for. I am worth gifting myself this Finish Strong challenge. I am worth planning ahead. I am worth stopping on a road trip to go to the bathroom. I am worth drinking more water. I am worth asking for help when needed. I am worth it, guys. I want you to scream from the rooftop. Thank you, Allie. I am worth it. Okay. And I want you to have a non-negotiable list. Non-negotiable that I don't drink my water before my alcohol. Non-negotiable that I don't have a solid breakfast every morning that's high in protein. Non-negotiable that I'm not going to work out. I will say, no offense to exercise, because I do love exercise and I want you to love it too. But your non-negotiable cannot be that you're going to exercise every day for the remainder of the year. Just because it's not enough. There has to be a nutrition related non-negotiable too. If you exercise, all the power to you. But sometimes people, in my experience, say, I exercised every day while they also tell me they've gained 10 pounds. So it's great, but exercising alone is not enough. There has to be a nutrition related goal too. Okay. And a nutrition related non-negotiable. And that can be going on the scale, and that can be writing down your food, and that can be eating veggies and at least 3 cups of veggies every day and whatever it is, but it has to be something like that. Okay. So now that we're going to make a game plan, and each of us is going to focus on the top 3 events we have and how we are planning for it. Now I want to do a short meditation to wrap us up. Okay, guys? So I want you to take some nice deep breaths. In through the nose, let it fill your solar plexus, and exhale it out through your mouth. Just let it go. In through the nose, exhale. I want to hear it. I want you to hear it. I want you to fog up your screens filled with your breath. Inhaling deeply, letting it roll around your shoulders, sit up proudly, and exhale deeply and fully. Okay. I want you to take nice, deep breaths. And I want you to envision yourself walking in to the new year, to 2026, feeling grounded, feeling fit, feeling proud. I want you to take nice, deep breaths and just envision what the number in between your toes could be on January 1st when you stick with this plan. Think about your weight minus a pound, 5 pounds, 10 pounds, even whatever feels right to you. Picture that number seriously on that scale in between your toes on January 1st, feeling grounded, feeling proud, feeling like, shoot, I'm really worth it. I'm really amazing. I really did it. Breathe into that. Allow it to feel good. Receive it. Receive the goodness that feels. Take a deep breath in. Allow that good feeling to go through your body, through every cell, through every vein, through every artery, and exhale. Allow it to sink in and turn into sparkles that light you up and make you feel like the light you are. Okay. So I want you to repeat after me. I am worth it. I can do this. I am meant to do this. Okay. You are meant to do this. You are meant to prove to yourself that you are stronger than you think. And if you're at a party and it feels uncomfortable passing on something that you've always said yes to, and if it feels sticky and itchy and uncomfortable in that moment, you know you're doing something right. That's what I love to remind myself is if it feels uncomfortable, it means you're doing it right. Because that means that there's growth because there's no comfort in the growth zone. So if you feel comfortable saying, oh, yes to avoiding the scale, yes to taking the eggnog, yes to eating the tempura sushi on that platter, yes to the charcuterie, if that feels comfortable to you, you know you're not stretching yourself into the you that you can be. Okay. So if it feels uncomfortable, you know you're in the right place. You know you're growing. You know you're proving to yourself that you're stronger than you think. You know that you're proving to yourself that you're worth it. And you know that you're just doing this temporary opportunity for change. And if it feels like it's not for you, then you can always go back later on, another week, another day, another year. But you got to give yourself that opportunity to be the you that you can be. Okay, guys. And if you loved this boot camp, if you loved the last 2 days, thank you so much for sharing it to your stories. I was overwhelmed with joy. I didn't even ask you, and so many of you shared these calls to your stories on your social media, which meant the world to me. So thank you for doing that. But if you really love this boot camp, imagine how good it could be for a full day seminar with me. I have these incredible full day seminars coming up February 1 and March 1 in New York City and Miami. If you're anywhere on the East Coast, I expect you to be at one of them. You are going to love it. Spots are filling up. I'd love for you to be there. A whole day, the transformation is insane, especially at the start of the year in 2026. You're going to feel like a new you coming out. You're going to be with people in person. You're going to be with me in person. We're going to be hugging. We're going to be sharing. We're going to be laughing. It's so good. So I hope you can make it there February 1 and March 1. Be there, New York or Miami. I expect to see you. I can't wait to see you. It's going to be magical. And thank you for being here. I love you all so much. This was wonderful. You're worth it. I love you. If you don't believe in you, know that I believe in you. And if you're not going to do it for your future self, at least do it for everyone else here on the chat in our daily entre community that want to be here and supporting you. Sometimes you need to know that others believe in you to know that you should believe in yourself. And we are all here because we believe in each other and we're here to see each other succeed. So we know it's possible for all of us. So I love you all. Thank you for being brave. Thank you for being strong. Thank you for being courageous. I'll keep the chat on so you guys can continue to connect with one another. I love you all so much and have the best day and obviously happy holidays.